This right here was my first bed that started it all. It actually wasn't wood at first. I started it with those plastic raised beds things, and right there you just see a tomato, bell pepper that is not blooming anymore, some oregano, some different types of banana peppers, and some parsley that's not doing too well in 104-degree temperatures. This right here was initially my potato bed. However, I didn't know if you didn't receive the tomato splices from garden center that they probably won't grow. So all the potatoes ended up rotting, and I planted tomatoes in there, which were only about 3 inches tall on Cinco de Mayo, and this is what they are. It's now June 17th, and they're huge. If you can see, they go over the fence. So again, that's another wood raised bed. Out here in the desert we have the sandy soil, so I put the wood there so I can be in more control of the actual earth itself, or the soil in that area. That right there, if you can see it, is a raspberry bush. And then we have some squash, 2 different squash, and then all those little pots there. If it's not too sunny and you can see them, those are all my little starter seeds in there. And there's some right there. There's some papaya. Ooh, that looks like my zucchini is dying there. Turn the water on really quick. It's 104, so sorry for the noise. That's the air conditioning. And then right here you have my second bed, the one that I started with after I did the plastic one over there. These were planted on Cinco de Mayo. They're now taller than the house. That's my corn, and you can see they're starting to bloom there. And you see your first few signs of the female part of the corn right there, the hairs, if you could see that. There you go. And you have some more tomatoes. These are the heirloom selection of the tomatoes, and I did different heirlooms so they could crossbreed, and then when it comes time to saving my seeds I can get something totally different. There's some okra, and there is eggplant. This one was a little bit more well planned. However, I kind of packed it to its fullest. This was taken directly out of Extreme Gardening. The corn's it's a desert gardening book. The corn is on the west side, so it provides afternoon shade to some of the smaller plants. The bed before the tomatoes grew and everything, the corn was full of radishes, and radishes are only about a 30-day crop, so that's why I put that first. And then over here we have the climbers with the lattice I put up. We have regular green beans. We have my cucumber, which is producing like crazy. I have more cucumbers than I can eat, thanks to fish emulsion. And I actually use something that's kind of controversial. I use urine to fertilize dilute it. I use urine to add phosphorus and nitrogen to the soil. Those are some snow peas there. And they're kind of haggardly right now, but they're still blooming and producing fruit, even though we are in, there's one right there. Pick that. I'll eat that while I'm doing this video. They're still producing in the summer. Excuse the mess. I have a little bit of my herbs there. We have basil, sage, and chives. Those are eventually going to get moved to my herb section. Here in the desert you have to kind of protect them because the heat and you can't have them in the direct sunlight, or in the direct sunlight in our heat. They'll just dry right out. Over here we have some baby bell pepper, and that's the rainbow variety, and I know that I have too many plants in there, but I'll weed through once they get a little bigger. And this right here, that's another heirloom tomato. It broke off, so I planted it right into the earth, and then it took root again, and I'm waiting for the other one to take root, and hopefully I'll have 2 sets of the plant. That's some cherry tomatoes. This is my pride and joy. I love to cook, so this is a lot of my herbs right there on the, I guess, left side. If you're, I guess for the film, right there is thyme. Then we have Thai basil and some dill. Behind that we have, you can't see it because it's just sprouting, is purple basil or red basil. Then we have cilantro, and it's in its flowering stage, which is really cute or cool. And then we have some more sage. And there is my lettuce that I guess a rabbit's eating. We have wild hares because of the way it's eaten. If you see that one where they're just the spines, I'm not sure if it's a bug or the rabbit. When I contacted a fellow gardener here from the desert, they said it might be the wild hares. Then we have the watermelon, which is doing extremely well. It's all over there. It's growing into my cilantro. Some dead lavender that I'm trying to revive. And this is my new potato bed that I planted. And that's the only one that is took root, or started to germinate. I think the rest of them are dead because it's been about 2 weeks. There is some baby artichoke, which finally I've learned how to grow here. And so you have some eggplants there that I'm going to retransplant that I started from seeds about a month ago. And we have some more heirloom tomatoes behind that I started about a month ago. And those are going to be transplanted into this and over there. And so there's 4 more beds on this side. And there you have some kale that's being eaten up by some things. And then you have your climbing beans, green beans, and Brussels sprouts, which are not healthy right now. I'm about to make them a shade cloth cover in just a few minutes. And then we have the royal beans with some corn in the back, so they can eventually climb up the corn, and fennel down there. Some beets on the bottom of the tomatillos to shade them from the direct heat. Tomatillos do amazing in the desert. These I planted from seeds less than a month ago, and they've are huge. And here's another bed of lettuce that I started, and as you can see, they're getting eaten up as well again. This is a mixed mesclun bag that I planted, and the bugs love it. And this is my favorite vegetable, Swiss chard. And there we go, that's all for my edible garden. The rest over here is pretty much flowers and ornamental stuff. But yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 beds, 5, 6 over there. And I'm trying to use up every little space, so I'm planting in between the beds. Then we got 3 pots, 6 pots. Sorry for the mess, everybody. Forget it. Who's counting anyway?